It is time for us to get together. Yes, my friend, yeah. 'Cause I feel so good next to you. I feel so good. So good next to you. Said I feel so good, so good, so good, so good when I'm next to you. Oh, when I'm next to you.
This is the Intelligent Human Voice Podcast Network. I'm your host, the PatMan, from the Bay to LA and beyond. That's right. Come boy Thomas in the house. We're going to talk about health consciousness. We're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about. You want to introduce yourself, brother?
That's right. Hey, this is Thomas. Thanks so much for sharing this moment with us.
So let me give you some, we haven't been on air for a while. I'll give you a little breakdown where Thomas and I met a few weeks ago. It's almost a month, right?
It's been
almost a month. Almost a month ago at the Gaia.com event in Santa Monica. It's an awesome event. And a group of us collectively got together at the end and just shared a great conversation. Thomas was going through a little experience himself, and so we were supposed to get together on the podcast a few days prior. We had some technical issues here in downtown LA, where it's raining, and we need the rain. I love the rain. I love the rain.
Yeah, me too.
So, man, let's get into this. How you been, and what's going on, and what's happening in your world, your conscious world, moving forward. I think we talked a little earlier in the show that you're.
Let's talk about the Gaia experience. So
let's talk about the Gaia.
Gaia.com, consciousness, a great television station. And then I was so grateful that they had this community event at the Victorian in Santa Monica. So I met you, I met other like-minded people.
Yeah.
And so to talk about the experience that I had, I was pissed at myself. Against better judgment, I made a decision not to listen to my inner guidance, my inner voice.
Right.
So yeah, let's start at the beginning.
So the event itself, like I said, Gaia.com is, I call it the health conscious YouTube. I call it the YouTube
That's
for the health conscious, right?
Yes.
And prior to me taking advantage of the trial period, I was weighing out, do I pay again for my Netflix subscription, or do I stay with the Gaia? And binge watching the Gaia is so health conscious. It just does it. But
it's an easy choice,
right?
It's always an easy choice,
right?
Especially for people like you and I. Gaia or Netflix, always Gaia.
Always Gaia. And so to meet a bunch of folks in the same room who are on that same wavelength, that same pattern of thought, I'd never experienced that before. Mm-hmm. In all of LA. I've been in LA 13 years, and I'd never experienced it, and it was just so easy to come together and say, yo, let's exchange numbers and whatnot. But you got to talk about the experience that you went through.
And I had that night, I had 3 other events going on. One event was a tech startup event. The other one was a Buddhist study meeting I really wanted to attend. And then Gaia, and then another friend's dinner party. So I made a conscious choice to go to Gaia, just like listen to my intuition, and when I got there, you know, when you go to an event and with a couple of people you have an instant connection, like almost that you
Right.
you know them.
Oh yeah.
It's intimate. There is a familiarity that's really sometimes it's almost scary, or at least I was skeptical. I wasn't prepared for it.
To meet people.
Where I had this strong connection with.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was a strong connection, a lot of chemistry, but not in a sexual way. It was more like a deep bond friendship.
Right.
Yeah.
Like brothers and sisters, like literally,
Yes,
like
like
we're
brothers and
all
sisters.
connected.
Yes.
And if you, I guess, if you're not into Buddhism or Zen or that, you know, that awakened consciousness, or not fully enveloped in it, it can be a scary thing. I went there not skeptical, but like I was going to go to Agape that night, and I looked at my phone.
What is Gape?
Agape is International
Agape.
Spiritual,
Okay,
Spiritual Center in awesome place. But so I'm like, do I stay for Wednesday night service? Do I go? And I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to this event. I'll see you guys later. You know, I have to go to this event. So just getting there right off the back, you know, I'm meeting people. I can feel it. It was the energy. You can feel it right then and there. So, and then meeting you guys towards the end, you know, I think we all kind of maybe made eye contact here and there, and then towards the end, just talking. It was amazing.
Yeah, and we talked about my experience. So the experience I had, Tiffany and I was like, yeah, she was like that sister. We had that strong connection, that strong bond. She's also from Atlanta. I was born in Atlanta.
Right.
My accent is not from the South.
Yeah,
I
man.
moved
You
to
clear that
Austria.
up right there.
Yeah, so
real
what's
quick.
going on there?
It's like a brother from Atlanta
A
with
brother
an
from
accent.
Atlanta in LA. He doesn't sound like that. What?
Right.
Yeah, so I was born in Atlanta. My dad is from Atlanta. He's African American. My mom is from Austria.
Awesome.
And then when my parents divorced, my mom moved to Austria in Europe. So
Okay.
that's where I picked up the Austrian accent. 25 years later, I decided to move back to the States, and I decided to move to Los Angeles. So I
Nice.
traded my Georgian accent for the European accent. And yeah, so this
So you
explains that.
could have ended up with like a down south Atlanta slang. You could have.
I could have.
You could have.
I could have.
But you.
I chose not
was
to,
like,
or my parents chose not to.
You're like, no, let's come.
Yeah,
come
we don't
over
want
here.
him to speak like that.
No.
Let's move him to Europe.
No.
No, it's but yeah. So I think that was important, so now people can actually listen to what I'm about to say instead of trying to figure out where I'm from.
Right.
And Tiffany and I, we had this great connection, great chemistry, and we were talking about, I don't even know what we were talking about, but I could see behind her there was already a woman standing, staring, almost like a luring and waiting, and like she knew what was going on. She just saw the chemistry and everything.
Right.
And in my mind, not even in my mind, in my heart, my whole intuition told me, get out. She's evil. Get out. Go away.
Right. I remember you mentioning that. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yes.
I gotta hear.
So what did I do, right?
Yeah.
Against better, I don't want to say against better judgment, but against knowing about potential danger, I decided to stay. The way I would have liked to handle it was like, you know what, Tiffany, I'm gonna go grab a drink. Let's continue conversation later.
So you're talking to Tiffany, and you feel this energy from this person that's behind her,
Yes.
and she's not like directly behind her, but she's kind of like maybe a couple of feet
Yes.
behind
yes.
her, and you can feel her energy, her glare.
Yes.
Was she staring at you? Like
Yeah, she had crazy eyes.
crazy.
And the confusing thing, like nobody else saw it, only I saw it.
Wow.
So she was only a danger to me, but to no one else.
So peep this. I've used the term crazy eyes before. What's your interpretation of crazy eyes? What's like is she looking at you in this alluring look, or like you know.
Like, it looks like insanity.
Oh, that's crazy, real crazy eyes.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's good crazy, and then there's insanity. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I talked to her later. I talked to her husband as well. Super nice guy. And it made sense why she had this kind of insanity in her eyes. At least from my perspective, she channels. So I don't really know how to explain channeling, but basically you can talk to people. You can talk to people who passed away.
Right. Spirits, the dead,
spirits,
the whole nine. Agape had an event to regards of that most recently.
She was gifted. She had powers. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, right?
Right.
But what happened was, first she talked, I know she wanted to talk to Tiffany. Tiffany works for Gaia and also is on a couple of shows at Gaia.
Right.
So, like a celebrity.
Right.
To some people.
Yeah.
And so she talked to Tiffany, and I talked to her husband, and then also the specific woman, then talked to me, and it was really annoying. The annoying thing was like, you two, it's like magic. You have so much chemistry. It's unbelievable. Isn't she beautiful? She is so beautiful.
She was saying this about you and Tiffany.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, thank you, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I hope I didn't disturb you. Like, nah, yeah, actually you did. We were having a great conversation, and I could see like she was almost getting insulted. So I didn't push it further. I'm like, yeah, but no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But what happened while we had that conversation, and I can also like, Tiffany also got a little bit irritated, or at least it seemed that she got irritated. It was like, yeah, can we talk about something else now? Because she had heard multiple times how beautiful she was, right?
Right.
And this other woman starts asking me, like, hey, do you have a girlfriend, or do you have a wife, or something? Like, it's none of her business, right?
Right.
So basically, what happens, like, there are two people, Tiffany and I. There's this, of course, she's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
But there's the chemistry that we had was non-sexual. It was really like you know somebody from a past life. It's like, wow, you have this instant, deep connection.
Mm-hmm.
And then a person comes in and takes it all away.
It's the most, and I can speak on it because I've been in that situation before.
And
it's
many
uncomfortable.
Other people probably have too.
It's very uncomfortable. And like you said, there's you talking to her because, you know, I'd spoken to Tiffany earlier, you know, one of the first people, I was like one of the earlier folks who had arrived, and I didn't even make the connection. I was like, oh yeah, you're a guy, you're part of you're hosting this, and made the whole connection. But
you knew.
Yeah.
You had
I knew, and then but you know, I didn't bring the whole celebrity thing into play. It was just like, oh, sister into, you know, the higher consciousness Gaia thing. I love that for what it is.
Yeah, she has a presence. I didn't see any episodes where she was on it. I saw them later.
Right. I saw a show interview. She had done an interview. I want to say it was Greg.
Yes.
Greg Braden, right?
Yes.
And then that's when I connected the dots. I was like, oh, but it was after the conversation because she has a kind of energy and whatnot. So I can only imagine how you were feeling, how you guys were both feeling when someone comes into play and try to match make. And it's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, there were a couple of things going on, like the matchmaking stuff. Like, I think Tiffany's married, I think. I don't know.
I don't know.
But there's a couple of things here. Yeah, first of all, it's nobody's business, right? But second of all, what happened there is actually she took... of course, it felt like Tiffany shut off after that, so we never rekindled. Like, the conversation, the chemistry was gone, and even though we had a later conversation,
right,
it's not the same.
Right.
And then I was a little bit pissed at myself for knowing what this woman was about to do. Because I have been in a situation like that before, with an ex-girlfriend, that somebody was just sucking up all the energy from us.
Right.
And if you're not careful,
right,
because your heart is open, right? And Tiffany, she's protected by her angels. I was just open, was just being like probably naive or arrogant, like I don't need protection, or I didn't think about it, right?
Right.
even though I knew that danger is imminent, because I thought like, yeah, whatever. But what happened is that specific woman, she took away all that energy, and I let her.
Right. Right.
So that was so interesting that it happened again, and it really reminded me of, hey, you need to be aware. If you sense danger, there's a reason why you're sensing danger. Protect yourself. Wait,
now you said it happened again. So you saying that you had been in that situation before?
Oh yes, multiple.
Multiple times.
Yes.
I know I have.
Yes.
But you recalled, like this time around, you were like, I should have known.
It was a reminder. It was a reminder. It was a reminder. This is something I already know.
Right.
And I needed to be reminded of it, and I just didn't.
Energy vampires.
Because maybe I wanted to see. I wanted to play a little bit. I'm like, I wanted to see how strong I am, Because I'm thinking, what they do with baby elephants, they put a rope on their leg, and then put the rope next to a tree, and a baby elephant can't break the rope. But once the elephant is a big grown-up elephant, it could easily break out.
Right.
But it doesn't, because the grown-up elephant remembers the time where it was struggling and where it just couldn't break out.
Right.
So I was thinking, like, let's see, I know where I was a couple of years ago. Let's see how strong I am now. So I was probably using her like as a sparring partner.
Interesting.
But it was stupid and arrogant. But maybe I would just wanted to know. But the thing is, what's the point? There's no point in it. It's just a reminder. Whatever it is, if you sense danger, there's a reason for it. Don't ignore your inner guidance.
Gotcha. And then you recognized it.
I did.
That's part of that. That's part of who we are, and not everyone is in tune with that. To recognize something that is, like you said, you want to play around with it, but at the same time, he's like, come on,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
She's got crazy eyes. Somebody that's got crazy eyes, and someone that's there to. It is so, and I think that's why, as soon as you were explaining, the whole situation, I reflected on times that I had been in that, and I was like, oh yeah, you gotta nip that in the bud right away.
Yeah.
And for me, I was looking at it as, always tiptoeing around other people's feelings, like, oh, I don't want to, maybe I'll offend this person, but it's like, it's annoying, and it's all about you in that moment saying, no, you know what, I'm having a conversation right now, block off. And it could have been that easy. It could have been that easy for you to do that. But like you said, it's almost like you wanted to test.
Yeah, I was being polite for no reason, and she took advantage of it. But also, it's really important, like you said, you don't want to offend anybody. That's not the most important thing. If you offend someone, that's their issue. If you say something, if you lovely disengage and you say, "Excuse me, I have to go to the restroom," whatever.
And it's a polite way to do that. It's a really polite way to do that. And the fact that you found out later that she's a channeler and she has these powers and these energy, that would even more so. You're like, I'm kicking myself in the butt. What the heck? I knew and she knew. I shouldn't have even let her into this. And
and I was like, honestly, I really enjoyed that moment that Tiff and I had.
Right.
And I was also pissed that it was gone.
Right.
That too. But you said something very wise, because I also, I had more time to reflect about it now. But afterwards, when we got together, we talked about it and we exchanged phone numbers. I said something like, I don't know why I didn't listen to my guidance. I think I wanted to give that lady the benefit of a doubt.
Oh, yes. Oh, right. The benefit of the doubt.
Here it comes.
My gosh.
Here it comes. Listen carefully.
The benefit of the doubt within, man, yes. So, yeah, I'm like, why? Why? Listen to the statement within itself. You are going to give doubt the benefit. Why? And because that's one of those cliche sayings, it is what it is. I hate that saying. I won't say hate, but I dislike a lot that saying. It is what it is.
Let's stick to benefit of the doubt.
Why? Why would you give
doubt? Is so destructive.
Doubt
There's
is
no benefit in doubt.
There is no benefit.
There's clarity. There is certainty. There is truth. Those things are very beneficial. Doubt
is the total opposite of all of that. And
you're going to give benefit to it?
You're going to give benefit to it.
So it's like, I wasn't aware that saying is so damn stupid.
It is so
and
dumb.
Potentially harmful, dumb. I wasn't aware of that. So that's also one of the things I learned. Like, why? Yeah, that's something people say.
It's these old sayings that they're just there, and if you allow them into your psyche, your energy field, your existence, you just say it and not even thinking about what you're saying.
Yeah.
Benefit of the doubt. I've been in business conversations where folks are saying, "Well, I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt." It's like, and I'm there to go, putting the brakes on it. No, we're not. You're interesting. If you're doubting doing business with this person, why would you? Why? Think
what
about
it means,
that.
Like, your intuition knows so much more than you do.
So much more. That statement right there. Clarity, yes. Intuition, gut intuition, your heart, mind, connection, knows.
Yes.
It's all knowing.
It knows. It gets stuff. Your intuition knows so much more than you consciously know. So your brain misses stuff. If you're analytical, your brain just misses stuff, but your intuition gets it.
Okay, we're getting back into the. You're bringing me back to our conversation at Gaia.
Yes,
because
that's my intention.
Right, it went deep. And we talked about that, and we talked about. Dang, I got sidetracked because I went back into the room.
Yeah, so but it's gonna come back to you. Here's the important thing. Like the business partner, right? You have doubts going into a business relationship.
Right.
Then don't do it.
I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to this new partner that I want to do business with. It's like, no.
If you doubt something, there's a reason you're doubting it.
Right.
Don't do it. If you have doubt because you're afraid of something, you have to work on your fears. That's a different thing.
You have to work on your fears.
That's a different thing.
Totally different.
If something happened in the past, you're traumatized, whatever, that triggers something, that's a different thing. But if you move forward and it looks good on paper, it looks good with all your arguments and all the rationalization that you made, but you still feel like there's something that just doesn't feel right. That's the voice you need to listen to.
So that's why I want to go back to the voice, the heart, the actual pumping heart, the brain, which I call the first brain.
Yes.
That's what I was talking about. The first brain. And I talked about that on the earlier podcast. It's kind of what I talked about in the early stage of launching the Intelligent Human Voice, was that I want to get the point across on something I saw on Gaia, Greg Braden, that talked about
the heart-brain connection.
The heart-brain connection. And I remember watching that, and I sat back the entire evening after that, just, reflecting on decisions I had made based on the brain up here, the one that's, broken up into 3 different parts, how it will distract you from your original intention, where your heart is going. It's pumping the blood. It's actually your real brain.
Yes, and there's science that the connection, like it starts with your heart, like the way your synapses and everything, all the I don't know how to explain it, but it's based on science, and it's like the science proves that your brain is not in charge.
It's not in charge.
Your heart is in charge.
And what really had me, reflecting on, on that whole heart brain connection was that I thought about things that would distract from the heart when it enters the mind. Because all day, every day, we're inundated by advertisements through our optical lenses. Brainwashing. We're inundated and distracted by things that we hear. And it's coming through our brain. And that's all it is. It's other people's stuff, all this junk. And if we go back to the basis of decision making and how we feel about something, someone, something, or whatever, and go back to the heart, it's like, okay, well, this is what I feel. This is what intuition is giving me. This is what the God consciousness, whatever you want to name it, this is what it's giving to me. So why am I listening to, the computer that's wired to, that's taking in all this nonsense? Why?
Because I've been brainwashed. And then you've been brainwashed to listen to the part of you that has been brainwashed. So the way I make important decisions now, be it going into the business relationship with someone or making career decisions, I made lots of bad decisions in the past based on, just using my brain.
And we all have. I mean, some of the wealthiest and successful businessmen will share with you that they have made these decisions, being convoluted, with distracted, into their brain. And we went way over 15 minutes, which is so awesome because I've never done it before, but this was an important, podcast because we put it off because of what was going on, with the, technical difficulties, and we got to the guts of what we want to talk about. And because we're going into this almost now 30 minutes, hoping that listeners will listen. I want to be able to bring you back, or we can go into another session and talk about what you're going into this weekend with the ayahuasca.
Yeah, let's keep going.
You want to keep going? So we're gonna stop the we're gonna stop this podcast, and then we're gonna start recording another podcast that's gonna go into another 15 minutes because Thomas is dabbling into the ayahuasca experience, which I haven't. So we're gonna talk about that. I hope you have tuned in. Hope you've enjoyed so far. We're going to do a part 2 to this. This is the Intelligent Human Voice Podcast Network. I'm your host, the PatMan, from the Bay to LA and beyond. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, and don't go nowhere. Peace.